What's up, everyone? We're back here on site, on location at Avicoli's, the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. Open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. They have the pizza, kind of relaxing, casual side where we're sitting here in one of the booths. They also have the fine dining side to take that special someone, or like I did, took my mom and my grandma for Mother's Day a few years ago. My grandmother's last Mother's Day, she was almost 101 years old, G-Mama, was right here at Avicoli's on the other side. Final Mother's Day before she went up to heaven, and I'm sure asked God to give her a nice Mother's Day. I'm sure she asked for Kigley's and all the good stuff. And of course, we have the outdoor dining, the bar that's here as well, and they have the opportunity for takeout, delivery, and catering by calling 315-622-5100. This is the Liverpool Leadership Lounge, 3 L's for you to know, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora exclusively, featuring 3 guests. You just heard from the Superintendent, Dr. Mark Potter. The Deputy Superintendent is here with me now, Dan Henner. Has a fantastic first name, in my opinion, the best first name that you can find.
Absolutely.
And we get to sit in for a little bit and speak here about a bunch of different topics. So, as the Deputy Superintendent, what can you say about your role and how you work in tandem with Dr. Mark Potter?
Well, Dr. Potter and I work as a team, and primarily I supervise the non-instructional departments, which would be transportation, food service, technology, basically all the things that behind the scenes make things happen. And in addition, on the instructional side, Dr. Potter and I have been leading the Education 2020 initiative to restructure the district to create more opportunities for our kids, to maximize how we're spending the budget, just to take a look at the world differently as things are changing, and just primarily to do more for our kids, spend every dollar and make it count and maximize opportunities.
And in doing that, having this job that's behind the scenes, do you like that? Do you like not being in front? I mean, are you okay with that? I mean, because sometimes things get done, and people say, kind of like in Cinderella, the mice do all this stuff and nobody sees it. How do you feel about that? I guess if you're doing your job, then people aren't complaining, right? If you fill in the cracks and do what you need to do.
Well, I think, primarily, Dr. Potter and I do some of the public presentations together. But, as the Deputy Superintendent, I follow Dr. Potter's lead. Yeah. It's important that, he has the ability and the support to do what he needs to do. So my goal is if Dr. Potter's world seems seamless, then I'm being very successful. And if there are bumps in the road, it's my job to look down the road a little bit further to smooth out those bumps so when Dr. Potter gets there, it looks very smooth.
So for you, you're trying to help him to have a nice ride by anticipating. Well, you can't anticipate a pandemic, so how have you spent the last year and a half when you're trying to smooth out the bumps down the road and we didn't know that this bump was coming?
Well, at the beginning of the pandemic, I did everything from deliver food to, it was really just all hands on deck type of deal for all of us. But it was really a listening session for the leadership team, understanding that things were changing by the second, not even by the minute, by the second, and being able to do what we needed to do to support the community, to support the staff, but with the primary objective of supporting our students, and knowing that as it spirals, the rules change from the CDC, from the Department of Health, from the governor's office, from the county's office, knowing that the stories sometimes always didn't match up. Everyone was trying to do the best they could do, but at the end of the day, we needed to kind of sift that information and figure out what we could do to, again, it sounds cliche, but we wanted to always maximize what we could do for our students here in Liverpool.
How frustrating was like you just brought up, that there wasn't a central message, clarity of message, and that even if there was a clarity of message, sometimes it lasted 2 hours?
Well, you just kind of roll with the punches. It's, if it were easy, I guess anybody would try to accomplish it. But we're charged with a job. by the Board of Education. We're approved to do something, and it's you're stepping up for our greatest resource in our community, which is our children. So if there was ever a time where you had to dig deep, it was during this pandemic and recharge your batteries, and you had to find a way to come energized each day to help motivate people, listen. So many people were struggling with different issues, and help them find solutions. And sometimes there weren't solutions, but knowing that you were somebody that people could come to listen to the issues and kind of lock arms and go down that road together, knowing that there were some of those bumps that couldn't get smoothed out, but we needed just to always refocus, because with all the mixed messages that were out there were still on the forefront our children, and we needed to make sure that stayed on the forefront, which was a challenge. It was a challenge for all of us, depending on what was going on with our families. When we got home, you always had to think twice. Am I going to get sick? Am I going to bring something home to my family? Me individually, I have my wife takes care of our 80-plus-year-old, my father-in-law, her father. So that was always one of my concerns. As we go the extra mile, as we make ourselves so visible, we're out there with so many people. Could I be jeopardizing those things? But as a team, we masked up. We did what we had to do. We, sanitized as much as we possibly could. Hats off to our custodial team in the district and our maintenance group for making it as safe of a school district as we possibly could make it.
And how do you go about all of that? Having to clean everything. I still do it. You see it. I got my stuff right here, and every time I go to do a live event anywhere for the past, not a year and a half, because we were closed with certain things that we couldn't do, but for as long as I've done it, I wipe down everything. I literally, microphones to the stands for the speakers and my phone, and literally everything that's here, I wipe my hands off. I make sure everything's clean. How do you go about, when you're dealing with a school, making sure that everything is wiped down, it's sanitized, it's been checked, it's been looked at. I got to spend an extra 20 minutes doing this, and I'm very tedious and methodical with it. But when you're trying to take care of a school, and as Dr. Barber said, 7,000 total students in the area, what can you say about the kind of new protocol of cleaning everything, sanitizing everything, making sure that things are taken care of properly?
Well, Dan, you talked about my position being the behind-the-scenes leader in the district.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, we have so many champions in our districts that were behind-the-scenes people. I talked about our maintenance group, our custodial group, but also our bus drivers this year. So the schedules with the bus drivers were so sporadic, and there were days where they couldn't drive. Well, over and beyond the call of duty in their contracts, the union worked with the district to make it possible. So bus drivers were coming in to help clean and sanitize during the day. As an individual, maybe taxpayer, parent, even students, maybe some of our teachers don't even know the extra miles that some of these people behind the scenes were going to keep that safe environment for our staff and our students to deliver the education to our children. But really, you talk about all the sanitizing, all the space that we have in the district. Quite honestly, if we just stuck to our traditional roles in the district, we wouldn't have been successful. It was the relationship between the SEIU union, the district, and the staff working together to make these behind-the-scenes things happen for our kids.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see what they've all done, and to our unsung heroes that should have been sung every single second. Thank you to everybody that has cleaned and sanitized and worked on and made phone calls and checked information and did whatever they had to do to get technology to kids, to talk things through, to talk to parents, to talk to people that needed some extra assistance, to go through things and vaccinations, and literally whatever it took and whatever you all did. Thank you so much.
Dan, one department that you just hit upon is our technology department.
Yeah.
our technology department in Liverpool was never meant to be an online help desk 24/7, 7 days a week. That's another department that totally stepped outside their comfort zone, that really stepped up to the challenge of all of this for our kids. And so many of those people are not hourly employees, but I would get there at before 7 o'clock in the morning. They're there, and there were so many times that it's 6, 7 o'clock at night when we're walking out together. So many people stepping up to make things happen, to keep that education going. And I apologize for leaving those technology people out, because quite honestly, they were the bridge for the home instruction and the teachers to make all the magic happen that we could make happen.
That is a beautiful thing. Deputy Superintendent here in Liverpool School District, Dan Henner, myself, Dan Tortora of Wake Up Call. We're here every single month with Liverpool Athletics and really the Liverpool community at Avicoles. You can walk to Liverpool High School from here, corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. Open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. And 4 awesome ways to celebrate here. You can come to the pizza casual side. They're on fine dining. There's also the bar, and of course, you can go and dine outside because the weather is mighty nice and had a sweet breeze today, and like 75 or whatever it was. So great to have Dan here for the Liverpool Leadership Lounge that we are getting to go through a bunch of different things. When you took this job, never in a million years did you think, pandemic, no sports, no, kids aren't in school. How have you handled your personal life, and how have you handled your job, knowing that a lot of people had questions, and sometimes none of us, no matter what we did, had any answers? It really was, if you don't live life day by day, you kind of learned this year, if never before, that you have to live your life day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Definitely put me in a place to, because I'm one of those people that's always ahead of myself, and so I learned how to live day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute.
Yeah, so my life revolves around the school district. I either go to sporting events, I go to musicals, plays, concerts, open houses, night meetings. Basically, my job is at least 4 out of the 5 nights a week out of the house. So for me, with the pandemic, on my personal side, I found myself being home a lot more. I dug up my backyard and did a stamp fire pit, and my wife thought I was
doing it for me.
my wife thought I was absolutely crazy because I didn't buy any or rent any equipment. I just got a shovel, and I literally wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow built it, because I just looked down the road and said, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself in the evening, because we spend so much time at school and all of these events are canceled. Yeah. So I, on purpose, created something for myself at home that was going to take me months to accomplish. So now that it is done, and it came out very nice, it'll always be a memory for me of when I was home and something that I accomplished during this time. But quite honestly, without COVID, I would have never even tried to do that. And for those of us, that are lucky enough to have a job that we love to do, and we love to spend time with the children and, within the community, it was, disappointing. And it was like an empty feeling not being able to spend that time in the evening that we're used to spending. So I'm excited of the hopes of having a more normal school year this coming year.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome that you took the time to do something. I was asked, because I'm single and I got home with my dog. So, being single and having Lily, and she's like the best kid ever because she acts like a human being, but she listens. And what's up to my man Ryan Blackwell? Ryan, I mentioned you. I said when I came into Liverpool, the first person that I ever saw shooting in the gym was you, and I expect that to be no different.
So Ryan, you're saying Dan's the man, but which Dan is the man?
This one.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
he put the GOAT. So.
Oh yeah, greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You must be talking about me, man.
Oh, okay. I think he knows he can't get himself in trouble if he writes Dan the Man.
That's right. Yes, Mr. Blackwell, politically correct. Mr. Blackwell, yes.
Yeah. That man knows how to answer questions and do it the right way. But
just make sure we get the win tonight. Boeheim's Army, 9:00, right, Dan?
Boeheim's Army all day, every day. There is no other team in America.
Right.
How is there? There's no other team besides Boeheim's Army. Everybody knows that. So, and it's not an if, it's a when a championship is won. Ryan, let's make it this year, please. Let's win a championship. So you got to catch up with Lemoyne. Men's lacrosse just got their chip. So 2021. So good for them. So now we need a Boeheim's Army one, which I'm excited about. But looking at what you did with the fire pit and all that, I said, as a single man, home with a dog and whatnot, they're like, Dan, what are you going to do? I said, well, listen, dating in 2020, 2021, whatever, dating is awful. It's just bad.
I can't speak to that.
No, it's just social media and all this garbage, and everybody can be fake, and it's ridiculous. So if they could lie back then, they can lie more now. It's a horrible thing to do. I don't like apps. I don't like any of that stuff. So I got asked the question, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I got a garage I just cleaned out. I can put my car in it. But what I think I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go get scraps from all the junkyards, and I'm going to build my own Iron Man suit. And I said, when we get done with Corona, you're going to see me flying around. So,
all right.
So my Iron Man suit is on its way, is what I would say.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was like, listen, what do you take from no dating or dating and having crazy people? I get to fly. You know what I mean? I just don't know where I'm going to find an arc reactor. I don't know how I'm going to turn it on. That's the only issue.
I don't know. There'd be a lot of people that said probably flying would be a lot more fun than dating. So,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I would go with the flying.
If I can fly around the world, I'll take that over dating any day.
Absolutely.
And I'll just put Lily in a little compartment. We're good to go. She's a little dog. So before we hop out of here, it's fair to put you in rapid fire. You get to put me on the hot seat. Deputy Superintendent of Liverpool School District here, Dan Henner, myself, Dan Tortora, Wake Up Call. This is the Liverpool Leadership Lounge, exclusively at Avicoli's, on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. Ari Lieberman's coming up in a second, but before we do that, Dan gets to put me on the hot seat. Any 3 questions he wants to ask me, I have to answer them because we're live on Facebook.com/LiveNowDT, and of course we're live here at Avicoli's. So,
all right, Dan. I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Okay.
Huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Yeah.
What's our record this year? 17 games. What's our record?
Yeah, 17 games. Nobody can be even anymore. You can't be 500. So I would say, and I think odd is better because it helps to differentiate. I think having an odd number of games is going to help out because even, I don't know, I think when you have 17 games, it'll help out a little bit more to hopefully get some tiebreakers done.
It will put a spin on fantasy football quite a bit. So many traditional leagues have done things so many different years, so
yes.
Kind of wondering how that's going to all work out. But what are you thinking? How many wins for my Bills?
Well, there's 17 games. I'm going to say I feel good about Buffalo. I'm going to say Buffalo 11-6 or 12-5. I'm going to give them 12-5.
I'm thinking 13-4, Dan.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to say 12-5 safely, but I won't be surprised if they get to 13.
All right.
I will say the second best fantasy quarterback in the league is Josh Allen, and in our mock draft 1.0 and 2.0, I drafted Josh Allen in both.
Smart man.
But I don't know if Zach Moss or Devin Singletary is going to be the one that differentiates themselves. And sleeper pick is my guy from UCF, Gabriel Davis, who will emerge as the number 2 receiver behind Stephon Diggs, in my opinion.
I like that pick. I like that.
And you also, in all 3 parts of your defense, you have guys I covered in college. Matt Milano from Boston College, linebacker. Levi Wallace, corner from Alabama. And I also covered my guy, I'm going to lose it right now. Oh my God, I always forget his last name. My man Ed Oliver.
Oh yeah,
from Houston on the defensive line. So you have people on the team that I know that I covered, and you have guys that I draft. So I think this is the most excited I have been about Buffalo football for the Bills, maybe ever in my life. So I'm not a Buffalo fan. I'm a Jaguar fan. Wow. But I will tell you that I fully anticipate and hope that Buffalo is in the AFC Championship game this year.
Okay, that was going to be my second question. So I get an extra question.
Yeah, you get an extra question, yeah.
So, best stadium to visit in the country for any sport?
Best stadium to visit. Well, I'd have to say that I'm spoiled. I got it in my backyard. The Dome, 35,000 fans at a basketball game, which takes out Cameron Indoor by 26,000 people. So, when Binghamton comes to play, there's 20,000 in the Dome. So, I would say that we're spoiled to have the Dome here. But I would tell you that I knew it was strictly business, and I felt like I was going into the belly of the beast. And I felt the air thick on my chest when I walked into Foxborough for the Patriots. So I'm going to say that one too. That when you walk in there, you can feel it in the air that almost nobody wins there except for New England.
All right, last question. Tailgating. Best tailgating food.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings. It's an easy answer.
Chicken wing. I would say
All right.
chicken wings. See, I'm a nachos guy, but I don't know how you throw that all together out there.
How do you cook your chicken wings?
Oh man.
Or what sauce?
I do all kinds.
We need to go deeper here.
Okay. I like a dry rub barbecue or a salt and pepper, but
okay.
I would tell you that, I'm good with milds. I do peanut butter and jelly wings.
Oh, I never had that.
Those are good.
Okay.
So I actually make some homemade peanut butter and jelly wings, but I don't know. I'd have to say wings to tailgate because I can eat a ton of them.
Okay.
And if we're gonna do it real nice, then give me that shrimp platter and leave me alone.
All right, that's awesome.
That's how I would
Thanks,
look at
Dan.
it. Yeah, so that coming from Dan Henner here, Deputy Superintendent for Liverpool School District, inside the Liverpool Leadership Lounge at Avocolis. This is Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and we'll be back with Ari Lieberman right after this.